Hi, I'm Martyn Corker from Showrooms, and I'm here at Space Projects Ltd to speak to the guys about all things automotive showroom interiors.
So looking back, say 10 to 15 years to how showrooms were then and forward to how they are now, what's changed?
The biggest change in the environment would be the lack of confrontation that customers would have experienced when they went into a dealership. So principally in the past it was all sales driven and it was all about the deal and less about the environment. So the first thing the customer would be hit would be offers all the time and doing a deal. And I guess car dealerships didn't really appreciate the need for an environment. And then over the years what's happened is customers have become a lot more retail focused and the environment's been a lot more considered. And a lot of this will be the change in who actually buys cars. So in the past it would have possibly been a male orientated business, and then it's become a lot more female focused and a lot more female led.
Dealerships in the past were a lot more visually chaotic. There were a lot more balloons and banners and bunting, horrible managers' specials scrawled on the windscreens of cars. And I think in a lot of cases the manufacturers have taken ownership back, and now the product is king once more, and we don't see that kind of paper storm. The accessories and the information is put in an orderly place so that the product can be clearly seen. The lighting is improved. A lot of work goes into colour rendition of lighting to make sure that the colour that you see in the showroom is the colour that you will see in daylight. And the other thing that's changed is the kind of the upgrading, if you like, of the after-sales customer. What used to happen in the past was that the people coming back to have their car serviced, having bought from the showroom, were then sent sort of round the back as like a second-class citizen. And so that's changed a lot. There's always a mixture of people waiting to have their car serviced, and as they come in to book a service or to pick their car up, they're reintroduced to the new products, to the new line. So there's kind of a natural flow of people that have bought and enticing those people to reinvest.
What are the fundamentals of a good showroom design?
Well, fundamentals are that it has to be an enticing environment, so it's got to be non-threatening, if you like. It's got to support the brand values. So if it's a Porsche showroom, you'll have to know that you're in a Porsche showroom. If it's a Toyota showroom, it has to impart those brand values, so be on message. It has to entice the customer back and to make the customer feel welcome and comfortable when they're waiting for their car to be serviced, or if they're coming to book a service, or even if they're coming in to browse. So it's much more of a retail environment than it ever used to be.
What you're trying to do with an environment is you're trying to project the brand of whatever's being sold. So I guess quality of finish would be very important. I think one of the biggest things is that a motor vehicle will be the second largest purchase that anyone's going to make after a house purchase. And the danger is that people can lose sight of that when they're involved in the business. So in terms of what you need is you need the environment to actually project the quality of the brand that's being sold. But in terms of the actual design itself, we have to think about the flexibility of the design and the changing patterns of the way the business has gone.
And what do you try to avoid when designing a showroom?
What we try and avoid as an agency designing showrooms is waste, really. What we have to be confident that when we show a design that we are considering the business plan. So we have to be careful about basically the size of the dealership that we design, because ultimately that will have an effect on cost. And I think the way we've changed as a practice is that we understand the business case a lot more than when we first came involved in motor retail.
When designing a showroom, we always conscious that the showroom is of an appropriate size for the product being displayed. So if, for instance, a 12-car showroom, we don't want to create something where we know the dealership's going to try and put 14 cars in, because then that will denigrate the product, and there are standards in place obviously to try and prevent that. And I think the danger is, with some dealerships, is that they lose sight of the value of the product because they're so familiar with it. They forget that the customer's often the first time the customer has seen this product.
How important is furniture to the overall showroom design?
The furniture and the fixtures within the showroom are very important, and it needs to send out the same sort of brand quality signals as the product itself. It needs to be supportive of that.
Well, we believe the quality of the furniture is massively important, and we have to stand up in front of people and actually say that we are providing a quality product that reflects their brand and the quality of the product that they're selling. So we have to be on a par with that. Where we come from as an agency is we're also conscious of the environmental impact of the furniture, and over the last 15 years what we've looked to do is repurpose elements of the showroom design that we do for people. So what we will do is we will actually look at the elements that they have at the moment and see if there is a way that we can redesign or repurpose those so they're a new design, but we can retain things like the carcass, so we're not actually being wasteful with materials.
And what does the future hold for automotive showrooms?
I think we're at a very interesting point in the development of automotive retail and for motor manufacturers themselves. There's a big divide between what the motor car means to people in the country as opposed to in metro centres, and I think that's going to be reflected in the way that cars are sold and marketed. For instance, there is a move afoot really, where motor manufacturers become transport solutions, provide transport solutions, so there will be more aligned to car clubs, city car clubs, where the ownership of urban vehicles is going to become a much more rarefied thing. It already is. In rural settings, it's still become a necessity to have your own motor vehicle. So that divide is going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
There's still problems with barriers between customers and the sales process. And I think the idea of breaking down the barriers so it's a lot more seamless. So even very simple things like removing doors into offices, so there's not this sort of impact of people opening doors and announcing themselves to customers. What we've done over the years is we've got rid of the sales territory, so there's not designated desks, so there's neutral spaces for customers. But I think it can still go further. I think it can still be a lot easier for people to actually buy cars than it is at the moment.